we're ready to go. The championship game, East and West, in our 2015 All-Star Championship here at Baseball Heaven. Great weather, great fans. We're hoping for the one last ingredient, Nelly, and that is a great game. Hello, folks. I'm Dave Raymond with the four-time world champ, Jeff Nelson. Now, we just got done watching the East advance into this game, Nelly, and they do have some thump in that order.
They do, and it's in the middle of the lineup, and it's Strickland, a unbelievable back-to-back for the second game that we've done in a row. You have Asa Runge, and also Strickland. Unbelievable power. You always have to watch out for those guys, especially keep the people off base in front of you. And then on the other side, the West, how about Tinajero? This guy, the catcher, unbelievable pop. We saw the big home run from him when we did our program yesterday. So unbelievable at bats. It's all about mistakes. Keep them limited and also keep the walks off because the ball is flying here. Anything in the air, you're holding your breath as a pitcher.
And look who one of the coaches is for the West team. It's Dusty Baker. Where's the toothpick, Dusty? All right, we're going to have the starting lineups, East versus West in the first pitch, our championship game, and it's coming up next.
When did
sunshine here for game two, our championship game in this All-Star Challenge. It's East and West, and this is Baseball Heaven, and we're just about ready to go. In fact, they're exchanging lineup cards at the plate. It was great. We saw Dusty Baker. He's in uniform today. There he is, working with those kids from the West. That's got to be a thrill for them. But the East, they're going to have first bats today. Deontay Starks. We talked about the thump in this lineup. What's coming up, Browning, and then Runge and Strickland. Look out right there. TJ Walker hasn't got started yet, but he's great. Pelcher, Stanfield, Papa George, Myers, and then Kippy Kuchera rounding out the lineup for the East. They can score runs. We know that much. The question will be, can they hold down the West? And that's what we're going to figure out here this afternoon.
Well, absolutely. There was really no change in the East lineup as we saw in game one. They're going with the same guys, and Asa Runge and Strickland back-to-back again. Is, like we saw in the first game, Runge hitting third, Strickland the fourth guy, and it's all up to Kligman. You look at not a very big guy, but he's got a good fastball, good changeup, breaking ball, drops down every once in a while. Eli Kligman from Las Vegas, Nevada. 4'11", 100 pounds. You have to be big in this game to succeed. But it's all about throwing strikes. We've seen it in the 3 games that we have done. Because they haven't played together, any of these kids, besides just these last 2 days, all about communication. We've seen a lot of mistakes in the field because of the communication difficulties, and also keeping guys off base. That's a big deal. Keep guys, no walks. That way, if you hit the solo shots, it's not bad. It's a stick. It's a one run. Yeah. And then that's it.
Yeah, because you can see things turn around in a hurry here, and whether it's the home run or, as we saw earlier, a little bloop triple in our opening game that dropped in and cleared the bases. The dimensions of this ballpark unique in such a way that, it can work for you, against you, and it's like a double-edged sword, every little piece of it that we talk about. So it's a challenging park for these kids. 12U, some of the best players from around the country, and it's been very entertaining to watch them play thus far. And now we'll see who the champ is. Both of them come in, by the way, 2 wins, 1 loss in pool play.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just mentioned the dimensions. It's a positive if you're a pitcher. If you do give up a gapper, it's a long single, and sometimes because of the short porches and the short fence, that runner at second has a hard time scoring on a base hit because of the short porch. But then again, the difficulty is if the ball does get in the air, it has a chance to go out. So eliminate the walks, eliminate the hit batters, and we'll see what happens.
Well, Deontay Starks to lead it off, and Kligman begins it with strike 1. Well, the diminutive right-hander, as Dad told us too, he'll come a little 3/4 at times. And nibbles off the outside corner. Quickly 2 strikes on Starks. Plate umpire Skip Amadio moved out there to look like he picked up a piece of gum or some sort of detritus or something that was out there in the way. I love it. Kligman decided, hey, look, I've gotten that outside corner call. I'll try to get, in fact, I'll stretch it just a little bit. See if I can get another inch or so off the edge. Now this time, Starks offers. High bouncer short, and it gave him just enough time to beat it out. Not much that Halpin could do with that.
No, absolutely. It was a high chopper to the shortstop, so no way Strickland, or actually Halpin, was going to be able to handle that. Starks runs good. He beats it out. Little high chopper off the turf.
If that one bounced just a smidge higher, he might have been able to double. with his speed and those big turf bounces, man. Here's Brady Browning now, and first, Kligman wants to make sure that Starks isn't taken off on that first pitch. Does get a good lead. So they'll go after him one more time. That's 3 straight tosses over to first. And that, look, it makes a little bit of sense. We saw Starks in the opening game swipe a couple bags. We saw him yesterday, same thing. 4 straight throws over before we see a pitch to Browning.
Well, that's what it's all about, is holding the runners. Hey, I'm back. How about that?
No, it's good to have you again.
Exactly. I had to take a little break. You know, they get tired of hearing my voice, so they cut me off. No, it's all about holding the runners.
Now the pitch to Browning, and he spoils that one down the line.
And it's, you know, you see the leg kick. We'll see the pitchers. Kligman has the leg kick. He'll go from the full stretch and lift that left leg. And sometimes you'll see guys will do a slide step, almost a quick pitch, to keep that runner closer to second, to give your guy, you know, Tinajero, a chance to throw out the runner.
One strike offering. That one foul tipped. And so it's jumped ahead of Browning 0-2.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what, you know, the first couple hitters, you know, that's what we like to see, a lot of strikes. You know, we've had some, and it's an issue here in the All-Star game. A lot of kids play multiple positions, and you just have to find the pitchers. A lot of pitchers on both sides, because they play in the weekend. You're going to have to limit them a little bit. Some of the coaches can't go with their best guys because they want to, you know, compete in this NYBC. Nice close play,
Yeah.
good pickoff play, almost got Starks at first base, but you know, it's about throwing strikes and eliminate the walks, because we mentioned in the open, if ball gets in the air, it has a chance to get out. You know, single shots, solo shots are fine. You don't want the 2-3 runners.
Starks going this time, but a breaking ball is hit high in the air down the left field line and gone. Browning, the 2-hole hitter, will circle them all. A 2-run shot in the East, strikes first.
Well, again, it's a shock for a pitcher. You make a good pitch. It was actually a breaking ball up in the zone. Had Browning out on his front foot, but he got enough of it. We mentioned just get the ball in the air. This will definitely travel. You watch the pitch here. He's out on his front foot, but stays back enough, crushes it to left field. And that gets over that scoreboard. Bounces off the street into the woods. And you see Love and Halpin come out and say, hey, listen, don't worry about it. And you get a good smile off of Kligman. He said, don't worry about it. You know what? You get it in the air. You know, anywhere else is probably a fly ball, but the wind's blowing so hard, you know, keep throwing strikes. Can't do anything about the first hit, and that breaking ball just hung up in the zone a little bit.
Also, Runge. And this will be interesting. I saw him shake off a couple of signs there from his catcher, Tinajero, and we'll see what Kligman feels like he wants to do with Runge. Now, we've seen Runge homer in every game we've called, and he was swinging for it there.
Absolutely. It's tough. You know, you want to try to keep these guys from getting extended. You know, he loves the ball away. We've seen the opposite field power. We've seen the power to right field. See if you can tie him up just a little bit. I haven't seen anybody do it yet out on the mound. And see if he can handle that pitch inside. We've seen a couple breaking balls down in the zone. He even swung over a few in that, you know, I guess semifinal game to get to the championship game. Let's see what happens.
2-1. That one down the third base line, and it is a fair ball. And it takes a bad bounce out there, at least for Corona. Runge with the double.
Well, it's off-speed pitch. Good pitch by Kligman. Love playing off the bag and off the line at third base. Hits off the end of the bat. Gets down to that third base line, and as the stands jet out, you look at the pitch away, just fair over the bag, and it'll hit off the wall and go into left field. You know, Corona going off, playing it like it was going to go down the line, and, you know, ricocheted off more to center field. An easy double anyway for Runge.
Well, these teams are all loaded with pitching. The question will be how patient will Mike Valiendo be with Kligman? Might he go into his bullpen?
Well, he's got Dusty Baker chewing in his ear. I mean, how intimidating is that? You know, Dusty's always been one of my favorite. I never played for him, but always against him. He was always in the National League, played with the Dodgers, you know, managed the world champs. Or I mean, not the world, when they played against Anaheim in what, 02 in the World Series when he was with the Giants. Always a great manager, managed the Cubs for a long time. There's Dusty right behind Mike, chewing right in his ear, saying, listen, this is what I would do. I mean, that's got to be intimidating, huh? You got a great manager that's managed in the major leagues for a number of years, played in the major leagues a number of years. Well, always a great guy.
Yeah, the difference is you could be intimidated by it, or you could go over and you could soak it all up, right? Just go ask a bunch of questions. This one flared out of the right field, base hit. Runge will drop anchor at third base. But Strickland following with a hit. That is 4 straight hits, including the 2-run homer by Browning.
Well, Runge had to hold up on that at second base. He didn't know if that was going to be caught by second baseman Chambers. You see it just gets over his head. You know, if he reads it, you know, tough read right there. He had to hold up. No sense of trying to score and getting thrown out at the plate when you don't have anybody out. See Mike Valiendo out there talking to his team, trying to calm them down a little bit. When Dusty goes out there, that means the pitcher's coming out.
Right. So this is just like the pitching coach visit.
It's the pitching coach visit, settling everybody down.
Let me ask you this: do you ever have a pitching coach come out and make a change with you out there? Was it always the manager every time?
Always the manager. Very few times did the pitching coach come out and tell me anything anyway. You know, every once in a while, and it's always, hey, settle down right here, ground ball away, get a double play. But usually it's the manager coming out and has his hand out, and I'm handing him the ball. And hopefully, you know, sometimes it's a good handoff, because that means either
you've done your job.
I've done my job.
Well, Kligman in a little bit of trouble, and a couple men on. TJ Wachter up there, runner going on the pitch. Strickland steals second base without a throw.
Yeah, ball in the dirt. No sense of Tiniero throwing the ball away. Wachter, another big kid, nothing but big kid. A lot of big kids on all these teams, east, west, south, central.
1-0. Ooh, and he gets a big-time corner call there.
Yeah, nice pitch, and you know, you see the catcher Tiniero moving away, helping out Kligman on the mound. Another good pitch.
Yeah,
he got that
doesn't get the call.
He got that call the first time. It's like, you know what? Sometimes it's say, hey, prove it that you can hit it. He's hit it twice.
Well, I liked it. Yeah, I mean, you got it once. Go do it again. 2-1. That ball's hit well. Right field gone. A 3-run homer, and Wachter finally gets going at the plate. It's 5-0 East, and Kligman still hasn't retired a hitter.
Yeah, another tough pitch. You know, you get a pitch down and away, and it was down. You could have had a ground ball out of that. You just get it up in the air, and anything's going to happen. The West knows that pretty well. You just need outs. Mike Valiendo is going to go out, probably going to make a pitching change here. You see the pitch down and away. Gets on top of it. Wachter pretty much hopes it's going out, and it does over the right center field wall.
Well, a 2-run homer by Browning, a 3-run shot by Wachter, and the East off to a great start. West and Mike Valiendo making a pitching change. We'll tell you about the new pitcher in just a moment.
I come from a big family. I'm the oldest of 6.
From
San Diego.
Last name. Well, you're right. I mean, it's San Diego. Maybe it's just
French. Some French-speaking people in San Diego.
Well,
visitors.
Got to be, right?
He must, maybe his parents were visitors and decided to, you know, take up shop in San Diego.
I tell you, that would not be a bad decision. And we saw Mounier yesterday. In fact, he had the start for the West yesterday, went 3 innings. This one a matchup of the game we saw in the afternoon yesterday, a rematch, if you wills. Matt Pelcher in there at 1-1. He is the extra hitter in a 10-man lineup.
Called strike on the inside. You got the hitter bailing.
That was awesome right there.
Yeah, I like that.
Hitter's bailing. Catcher can't catch it. He was set up outside. He came inside. But he did catch that corner. That one up there, and Pelcher went after it. 1-2 the count. Wow, tough start to this one for the West. Ellie Kligman giving up 5 hits, including 2 home runs, a total of 5 runs allowed. Could not retire a batter, and now a bouncer third base. That one threw into left field, and Pelcher is aboard. He's going for 2, and he's in there easily.
Well, he got the short hop over there, third for Love. He tries to charge the ball, and it just gets under his glove. He just didn't go down enough for that, and got under him and goes into left field. And great hustle by Pelcher. Watch this ground ball, almost routine. He tries charging it and let him play him. A little upset at himself. Probably should have had that. And guess what, Dave? We have some changes. Well, we're kind of hoping it wasn't going to happen so quickly, but you know, Halpin from shortstop, he goes out to center field because the pitcher Kligman goes to short. Center fielder King goes to first, and everybody else still stays the same.
So we haven't had an out retired in this game.
Yeah, exactly.
And we have 3 position changes at least. Well, 4, I guess.
And we're already, what, 2 hours into it.
There's a bouncer
right back up.
Right off Mounier. Will he have a play? Well, he does, and gets him at first. Way to stay with it.
Absolutely. You get a hard shot right off the turf. That skips hard right back to the pitcher. I think it might have hit him off the part of his skin or hand. Shocked him a little bit and stayed with it. Great play right here. Watch this ball right back at him. Stays with it. Think is going to go in left. Picks the ball up. Great throw. Good stride over there by King at first base for the first out.
So now an out, but Pelcher moved up to third base on the play, and taking his lead. Here's Nick Papageorge.
Infield coming in, trying to cut that run off, and it's 5-0. But you know, we've seen tons of scoring here. We're only in the first inning. We know what the West can do offensively. Both the shortstop, second baseman are in. Corners are in. Cut off that run at the plate.
That one bounces away from Tinajero, and here comes Pelcher. He scores.
Yeah, and that's the only time you're going to see a runner score from third if it shoots up one of the lines. And that was a shot up the third base line. Breaking ball in dirt, spun the other way off of the catcher Tinajero. No chance of getting Pelcher at home. Well, now you don't have to play in anymore.
That's right. Everybody relax.
Yes.
Strike front of the outside corner. 1-2 to Papageorge. Native New Yorker, 5'7". He was impressive in our opening game. Great defensive play at third base, a little bit short. Six nothing for the East. Top of the first inning. And that one a little wide. This is the championship game, 12U All-Star Challenge here at the National Youth Baseball Championships in Yaphank, New York. It's upstairs. This facility, great facility known as Baseball Heaven. And today's been delightful. Little breeze, 2-2 pitch, and he gets him. Papageorge down, swinging 2 away.
Nice pitch on the outside part of the plate. That's all you need to do. Throw strikes, get some outs. Awful tough for Papageorge to handle. See right here, Tinajero. Nice pitch, nice fastball on the outside part of the plate.
So the 9th batter of the inning, Logan Myers.
so much the catcher moving, helping out the pitcher as far as location. Tiniero doing a great job of moving on the outside part of the plate. He'll get out there almost into the left-handers hitting batter's box.
Now, as a pitcher, though, did you want him to set up early and get out there? Did that?
I wanted early.
You?
You know, I wanted early. I didn't want any of those guys moving while I'm in my windup. But obviously, with nobody on base, it's easier for these guys to move right away. You know, sometimes when you have guys at second base, you'll have, you know, not at this age. I've seen it at this age when they're trying to steal signs or at least location. They'll give it away at second, help out the hitter. You know, a lot of times in the big leagues, they'll do that. You'll have guys at second that'll do something, you know, make a move one way or other, look some way, do some hand movement to give location to the hitter. And you'll have the catcher set up late. But I was always the type of guy that said I needed you to move right away. Help me mentally look at and say in my mind that I need to get that pitch away or get that pitch in.
Missed the mark that time to Logan Myers. It's 3-1.
And a lot of times when you get some of these young kids that are missing in, you want the catcher to set up away. Say, okay, I mean, let's see if he misses over the plate or gets the ball away, helps him, you know, keep his shoulder closed and force that pitch on the outside part of the plate. This time he just, you know, he got behind. He got 2 quick outs, you know, after coming in, and now you walk that eighth place hitter.
Now the first free pass issued here, and now Kip Kuchera. So actually the 9th place hitter, these 10-man lineups. Kuchera. We saw him. In fact, this is the 3rd straight game we've called for the East. So we've seen a lot of them now as this one gets away and allows Myers to advance.
Seen a lot of catchers drop some pitches.
You were calling it the ejecto glove?
Yeah, I mean, what companies are giving these guys ejecto mitts? You know, in and out of their mitts.
Well, no, Kuchera fouls it off.
Fastball away. Yeah, I know these kids, you know, the slope of the mound is pretty drastic. I mean, you love the high mounds as a pitcher, but sometimes it's hard for these guys to get used to because you really do have to adjust your stride and almost stand up straighter and instead of stride and follow through and get down a little bit lower like you normally would on a mound that doesn't have a great slope on it. But this has a big slope, so you have to adjust your mechanics, and these guys are throwing a lot of balls in the dirt, making it very difficult for the catchers to pick.
Strike 2 on Kuchera.
You catching flies?
I'm drawing them anyway.
Drawing them?
There's a 2-2. That one in and out of the glove, though. Kuchera, late recognition, took off. And Tiniero able to throw him out at first base to complete the inning. Well, it was a big top of the 1st for the East. A couple of home runs. First it was Browning, and then T.J. Wachter. Good for 3 runs and helping the East to the big lead. West coming to bat.
Smartphone.
Well, you can see a big start for the East. You can also see a lot of campers out in the stands looking on today. Dusty Baker's out there somewhere hanging out with them. More than 90 kids here today. Tomorrow will be the final day of their 7-week camp. Frank Catalanato summer camp here at Baseball Heaven. All right, let's take a look at the West starting lineup. C.J. Picone leading it off in the right field. Then Emilio Corona. Tiniero, the catcher, Halpin Munier, who came in to pitch. And then King, Love, Chambers before the starter, Ellie Klickman and T.J. Pound round out the West lineup. T.J. Wachter had the 3-run homer in the top of the 1st. Now out to the hill.
Well, let's see, got the 3-run comfort. Let's see if he can go out and throw some strikes, shut them down in that first inning, get your guys back out in that dugout hitting again. We know the West can do some damage. They did it yesterday when we had them. Let's see if they can do it again. Find themselves behind 6 runs, a big 6-run comfort for Wachter.
CJ Picone leading it off and takes a couple out of the zone. And the West, they're pretty smart. They know they need base runners. They've got a lot of time in this thing, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Plenty of baseball left. No runs, no lead safe here. When the ball's flying out, get a couple guys on, get the big 3-run homer, find yourself right back in the game.
That one a little low. 3-1 the count. Just looking back, not only in the games that we have done, we have seen precious few shutout innings. Grounder to short, and right there on top of it, Strickland, 1 away.
Well, we've seen Strickland everywhere. We've seen him at third. We've seen him at short right there. Nice play. Good toss over. We've seen him on the hill. Shut some guys down. At the plate, he's doing everything. But a good first out for Wachter after falling behind Picone.
Emilio Corona now, and he takes it in for a ball. West at the top of their lineup, a couple of those little speedsters, guys you figure just kind of work counts, find their way on base, and then wreak havoc once they get there. Picone not a big guy, Corona not a big guy. Table setters. Look out, that one like it nicked him right on the hip, and Corona will head to first.
Looked like Corona had a little bit to say to Wachter. These are what, 12s?
12s. It's the second time they faced each other. I mean, it's a little history.
See this off his hip. Little pitch inside. Little toss to the bat.
How dare you?
And he shook his head. He said something. Means that maybe that didn't hurt or whatever. I don't know.
We'll see if he tries to run on it.
Not a big lead yet. I'm sure you're going to try something. I mean, running game's been a big part of all these teams. Now you have your big bopper up, Tinajero. We saw him go deep, drop the bat, little pimp daddy.
Yeah, he's watched enough highlights to know.
Oh yes,
the big ones do. Some of them. They were concerned about Corona maybe trying to take a base there, so that kind of had the look and feel of a pitch out. Maybe not exactly executed that way, but he wanted to give Stanfield a shot to gun him down.
You see the lead, not a big lead over there by Corona. You're down 6-0. You better be sure that you grab that bag. Pelcher behind the plate has got a gun. We've seen it on the mound. We've seen it behind the plate. He'll throw you out. He'll throw you out from your knees. He's got one of the better arms here that we've seen.
Well, that one a little bit outside, throw down to second, and it hops over and into center field. Corona with a steal of second base. So I guess he felt confident he could get it, and he got it.
Well, down 6, you better be sure that you can steal that base. Rather, that's Stanfield behind the plate.
There's a strike in there to Tinajero. So it's a 6-0 game, 1 out, but the West, they've got somebody in scoring position, right? So get to the heart of their order. And Tinajero chases one. That's a big out, 2 away.
Yeah, absolutely, Dave. A great fastball on the outside part of the plate. You see Tinajero coming off the ball and trying to pull it to lift that ball in the air, and couldn't catch up to that fastball on the outside.
Now Petey Halpin. And he takes one upstairs. Give credit to Wachter. He's coming right in after these guys. 1-1 the count. Uh-oh. and that gets Halpin in the lower back. Second hit batter. And the West with a couple of base runners now.
Well, it looked like another breaking ball. Just held on to it a little too long and hit him in the back of the leg. I think he hit a few guys yesterday too when he was on the mound. See Eddie Gonzalez out there talking to him. Say, listen, you got 2 outs, 6-0.
It's all good. No big deal. Yeah, you hit a couple of guys. Now just get one more out.
So no harm done. I mean, he was throwing strikes, so he just missed on a couple pitches. It got inside on Corona and also on Halpin.
So now Meunier. And a bouncer right to second base. Browning on top of it. And that ends it. A couple of hit batters, but the West can't make anything of it. So we're 1 inning in. And this one all East so far.
From at noon, only on CBS Sports Network.
Well, there you see it. 6-0 lopsided first inning in favor of the East. Hey, between innings, we were talking about Dusty Baker out there in right field with some of the kids, the campers. Yeah, he was having fun with them.
Yeah, he's trying to get some of them to use their manners. So come on now.
All right, guys. Now, how you guys got your own section over here? This is what I want to know. You guys, all you guys for this team over here? None of them for my team?
There's Dusty. Yeah, having a good time and he's taking care of everybody. He's a beaut. Of course, not only was he 3-time National League Manager of the Year, you're talking about a guy who took the Giants to the postseason, in fact, to the World Series. Took the Cubs, the Reds to the postseason as well. I mean, he's a very accomplished manager on top of his great playing career, in which he hit nearly 250 career home runs. And the Deontay Sparks wraps one sharply into left field, a base hit to start the second inning for the East. So after a 6-run top of the first, a single starts the second inning, and here's Brady Browning. Now Browning is the guy who hit the home run and really kind of accented that first inning for the East. Takes this one up near the noggin.
Well, Browning likes the crowd to plate a little bit. You have to work on getting out of the way.
Yeah, if you're gonna hang out in there, you better be prepared to move. I see a lot of these kids. They're really good about getting right up on that plate. And now Browning takes a strike right on the inside corner. Quick check in of Starks. Didn't look like he had much of a lead or any intent to really move, but we do want to keep him close.
Well, Meunier did a great job of getting out of that inning and getting out of that jam, and you know, kind of I don't know if limiting the damage, but you know, now you see the top of the lineup getting on base again. You fall behind, or now you're ahead of Browning. You know, you got to keep these guys off base and see if you can get your guys back in the dugout. A great job by Wachter there in the bottom half of the first to throw up that 0, like you mentioned. We haven't seen too many of those.
No. Well, you said it at the open, though. That this East team can score some runs. Now that one thrown wildly outside, and it Starks to second base on the wild pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you got to cut down the walks. You know, you have to cut down the mistakes. You know, these kids are all-stars, some of the best kids around the United States, and you know, you can understand some of the communication problems because they haven't played together. This is the first time that we're, you know, the second day they've played together.
This one popped up by Browning right near first base and handled by King. One away.
Well, I forgot to tell you, my fault. We do have some changes again.
No.
Yes, and that was Tina Yarrow over there at first base. King goes out to center. Halpin comes in from center to shortstop. We have a new catcher. Klickman goes behind the plate. We've seen him yesterday. Good job behind there, what he did yesterday. And that's it. You know, everybody else stayed the same.
No. Yeah. Great.
Very good fastball on the inside part of the plate. Now you're talking about the meat of the lineup. You had one out. Let's go. Throw strikes. This is what I said. You know, nobody has thrown runs inside. And that was the first pitch on the inside part of the plate. Big swing on the top. Fastball up. I would go right back. I wouldn't mess around with anything away.
Go right back in.
Go right back in and upstairs. See if you can get a swing and a miss.
Doubled in the first inning.
See Klickman.
And
nice.
they do go in, and that is called strike 3. Almost the strike him out, throw him out double play, but Starks in underneath the tag at third.
Great pitch. First time that I've ever seen Runge pitch and get thrown inside. Klickman, good fastball on the inside part of the plate. Buckles Runge, and he hasn't been thrown in there. He likes to get his hands extended, likes to pitch away. Outstanding. Fastball for strike 3 by Meunier.
It's now Strickland, and it doesn't get a whole lot easier. I mean, Strickland is just as dangerous from the right side as Runge is from the left.
Oh, exactly, and I think that's one of the things that the West has talked about. Maybe this is the second guy in a row, Strickland. You see Klickman staying on the inside part of the plate on that first pitch, going away there. But I would stay in on these guys, see if they can pull you. He's got a good fastball. Anything on the outside part of the plate, all these guys have to do is get a little piece of it and get it in the air, and it could have a chance to carry out.
Meunier's 2-0, and he gets Strickland to chase it. 2-1. It was a 6-run top of the first. Ellie Klickman got lit up. And as you mentioned, Meunier came in and did a great job at that point of settling things down a little bit to give up a run. And now a chance to perhaps match the 0 put up by TJ Wachter in the bottom half of the first inning. That is going to be a free base as Strickland takes the walk. If you're going to miss, go ahead and miss wildly.
Yeah, miss wildly, and that way at least the runner at third didn't score. I mean, that could have shot up the third baseline. And the West got a break there. You know, Starks, you see Eddie Gonzalez kind of giving him the heads up and watching the ball. He might have scored on that one, but, you know, held up at third. Now you got a brand new count. You know, you got another tough hitter. Wachter hit the home run there in the bottom of the first, or top of the first.
Strickland, meanwhile, he takes off for second base on the pitch. Uncontested, but give him a steal anyway. Now second and third for Wachter. Meunier's 1-0. And that one beat into the turf, but threw into center field. A base hit. 2-run score. Strickland comes in on the heels of Deontay Starks. Wachter stretches the East lead to 8-0.
Yeah, absolutely. You get a ground ball up the middle, and we can see how it shoots. That baseball shoots through this turf. It got up the middle quick. Outfielders playing deep. The fastball on the outside part of the plate. Good base hit up the middle. Too tough for King, the center fielder, to handle, and actually, you know, even too tough to throw the runner out at home.
Now a little shot opposite way, and it gets past a diving Picone. Goes to the wall. Wachter left first base, and they're going to send him. No, they stop him at third. And Pelcher's in a rundown. And they get him for the final out of the inning. Oh, no. That's some poor base running. Costs him perhaps more, but 2 runs gives the East the 8-0 lead. Some base running blunders. I feel like they could have had a little bit more right there. I'm not sure I understand what happened on the bases here.
Well, you get a diving try by Picone, but what happened is Wachter is not the fastest guy, and I think Eddie Gonzalez, the third base coach, was telling Wachter to go the whole way. And Pelcher, thinking that, well, I got an easy triple out of this because this is a run scored, just put his head down and started running. And I think it was just a mistake by Wachter. You know, he should have scored easily. Not the fastest guy, but he decided to hold up. And, you know, they were able to catch Pelcher off base and got him in a rundown. The run doesn't score. They only get 2 out of that inning. So big break for the West in the top of the second.
I would say so. And now Wachter starting the inning with a wild ball 1 to Davion King. Could be a little pivot point maybe for momentum. You give the West a chance now to get back up to the plate, and Wachter was just out there racing around the bases. Maybe, you know, I would argue not quite hard enough around third, but
maybe that's all he has.
But
yeah, he's a big kid. You know, big kids don't run that fast yet. He felt like, man, first to third, that's good for me. I'm going to have oxygen when I get back into the dugout. I'm not scoring in this play. We're already winning 8-0. What do I need to score and make it 9 for? Maybe he has a buddy. Maybe, you know, maybe Stanfield, the catcher, might be his buddy, and see if he can get 2 RBIs out of it.
Well, that could be. There you go. That was 1-2 to King. Great effort there by Stanfield to try and frame that up for Skip Amadio, our plate umpire, but Skip wasn't having any part of it. Can't jerk that glove back. 6 runs in the first, 2 more in the second for the East. And Wachter, meanwhile, worked around a couple of hit batters in the first inning. And using some pitches here on Davion King starting the bottom of the second.
Well, you get ahead of King, and now you just need to put him away, and King finds himself back into the count.
The payoff, not even close. It's interesting, every other hitter for the West seems to reach base, whether by walk or getting plunked. But thus far, that has been
he's got a no-no.
He's got a no-no.
Nobody's hit him. He's hit everyone else.
Jason Love. Yeah, that's a strike right in the outside corner. Great jump by King, and he steals second easily.
Well, we saw Wachter yesterday. He'll mix it up. He'll lift his leg, and you know, when guys are on base in the stretch, and he'll also slide step, and you know his motion is slow when he lifts that leg, so the runner can really get a big jump off of first base and steal the bag.
Finds the outside corner again, though, on Love.
You have an 8-0 lead, no sense of monkeying around with the guys on base. Throw strikes, get the hitter out.
And comes back in, and he hits his third batter. Faced 7 kids, and he has hit 3 of them. That one, he had Love 0-2. So, I mean, that's not intentional. I mean, there's not even at all. It's got to be a little frustrating right now for Wachter.
Well, Love expects to see a breaking pitch or a fastball somewhere where he can swing, and you know, Wachter, you're absolutely right, not meaning to hit the guys.
Now a soft loop up the middle, and this one handled by the shortstop Strickland. They get the out at first. Runners, though, do advance.
It looked like that was off the end of the bat of Chambers, and a little bloop. And the runner at second, King, had to hold just to see if that was going to be caught.
Yeah, almost
good heads up running, but yeah, absolutely good heads up running by the guy on first base, Love, to even make it to second base. That could have been at least a force out at second, but Strickland had to go over to first to get Chambers. Nice play by Strickland.
So now Klingman. One runs a little tight on him.
A good pitch on the inside part of the plate. I thought that maybe could have been a strike. Stanfield setting up hot and setting up outside. Caught that inside corner.
Mounier tries for the outside corner and can't get that one either. 2-1.
The one thing about hitting 3 guys, you're not too comfortable if you're the West. If you know what I mean. Because I mean, you have a pitcher out there that has no idea where it's going. You're going up to the plate and say, heck, I got a good shot of getting hit.
Just misses again. 3-1. And possible too that he is losing the benefit of the doubt here with plate umpire Skip Amadio. You know, Wachter again tries for that outside corner, but nothing there for him. A walk loads him up.
Well, again, you know, he's walked 2 guys, hit 3, hasn't given up a hit. So when he is around the zone and throwing strikes, they're not hitting him.
Now here's TJ Pound. Got a pitch to hit, but lofts it straight up in the air to center field. As Runge is there, he'll throw a rainbow to the plate, but no chance of getting King, who tags and scores on the sac fly.
Well, he gets a pitch up in the zone. He's able to hit it in the air, and that's all you're hoping for if you're the West, is get a ball in the air to see if it travels. It just didn't travel far enough. Good play by Runge out there. I don't think it is Runge. I think it's somebody else out there in center field.
More changes?
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, fake over to third, and he's got the man at first base now in a rundown.
And that's going to be a
balk.
balk.
It is a balk.
You're
Yeah.
not allowed to do that move anymore.
That was your
I know, that was
move.
my move, and they crushed it. And that's why it shouldn't be banned.
What, because it was yours?
Yeah, well, plus, look, you get a guy trying to steal, and you can catch him off. You see here, he sits there and he fakes to third, and goes over to first, and he has the Klickman in a rundown. But you know what? You're not allowed to do that anymore, and the run scores, and Klickman moves up to second base.
So 2 runs in. Nick Morgan, by the way, is that new center fielder. Well, it looked like that would be the final out of the inning. Instead, it ends up with a run. And now extra pitches. Picone sends one down toward the right field corner. Klickman will come home on it. And into second with a head-first slide is Picone with the RBI double.
Nice job there by Picone. Gets the first hit of the game, and you know that's just what happens. You get some mistakes, you hit some batters, and you know walk some guys. Get a double down the line. Good play by Kuchera to get the ball in. He barehands it, gets a pitch on the outside part of the plate. Just stays fair. Bounces all the way to the wall. Watch the barehand play by Kuchera. Good job of getting that ball in, but Picone gets in there for a double.
So it's an 8-3 game now. Corona takes a second strike, and that one in particular, borderline.
He's one of the 3 that has gotten hit by the pitch so far.
This one bounces away from Stanfield, throw down to third. Ooh, not in time. Picone moves up on the wild pitch.
Stanfield got the good ricochet off the backstop and almost got Picone at third. Close play. Nice throw. You watch the ricochet here. Picks it up. Almost gets him. Almost gets the tag. Papa George at third.
Now the 1-2. Corona, when he was hit by the pitch in the first inning, he didn't like it.
No. Maybe that's why Wachter's staying away. He doesn't want to come in anymore.
Try to go further away. It's a full count now. So in danger of putting Corona on, extending the inning, and having to deal with the heart of the order. Tina Harrow waiting in the on-deck circle, the 3-2. And this one shot out to center, and right there for it is Morgan, and it ends the inning. 3-run score, though, for the West. They're back in it. It's an 8-3 game.
Performance.
with the lead. There you see Frank Catalanato kind of hiding behind the banners there. He's working with the East team. In fact, his big camp is coming to a close here tomorrow. Tommy Lasorda is going to be here to talk to the campers tomorrow.
How about that?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Dusty Baker, meanwhile, is here today, and he's been working with the West team. So you got Catalanato on one side and Dusty Baker on the other. Tommy Lasorda is going to be rolling in here for tomorrow.
Well, it looks like Catalanato's doing just a little bit better job than Dusty. Maybe Cat ought to think about managing. I mean, he's got 8-3 lead. He's pulling all the right strings.
Well, that could be. It could be that they're just sort of helping.
Just here as a face,
here.
as a name.
Yep.
Hey, guess what? We have some changes. We got a new pitcher.
It's weird. Chasing Love. Gets one right in there for a strike.
We have Mounier over at third base, and Pound goes to first.
Bouncer over to third, and Mounier on top of it. One away.
See what happens when you get the ball down. They're not able to lift it. Good pitch right there by Love. Good play over there by Mounier at third base. Good strong throw over to first. Get that first out. Throw some strikes. Keep these guys off base. You just scored 3 runs. See if you can climb back in it here in the bottom half of the third. Get these 3 outs.
It sounds so easy when you describe it.
It does. You know, it's so easy here, right? it's you know that it's easy in the booth. It's always a little bit difficult down there in the on the field.
Nick Papa George takes one wide, 1-1 the count. When things got difficult for you, you know,
I watched.
What was it? I mean, is it as simple as just a little mechanical thing?
The same thing as they're having here. It's always command. You know, these guys, when they lose command, things start happening. You know, you start walking guys, and next thing you know, you have to have that ball starts leaking out over the middle of the plate, and it gets hammered. Same thing with me. You know, when I pitched and I struggled, it was command. I would get behind hitters, and I would have to come back over the plate, and I would get hit.
Jason Love has come in, got a ground out, strikes out Nick Papa George. And with 2 away, nobody on base. Logan Myers, there he goes, the strikeout.
Nice breaking ball on the outside part of the plate. See, Kligman was going to catch it up, right? Had to scoop it a little bit. Nice catch.
First pitch strike to Logan Myers, who walked in the first inning.
I'm not sure if this is right, but, you know, if Love can get Myers out, that may be the first 1, 2, 3 inning we've seen out of the 4 games that we've done.
Well, I'm hard pressed to think of one. I mean, I know
we've had some zeros, a few zeros.
Right.
We've had some goose eggs where they've faced like 4 guys or maybe 5 guys and left them on base, but I don't know if we've had a 1, 2, 3 inning. A nice pitch. There we go.
Yep, strike 3 called.
It's
Papa
in the record
George.
books.
Well, you remember we had the 3 perfect innings yesterday by that Jonathan Huff.
He blew it for me.
8-3. We go to the bottom of the third.
We were there for the first. We'll be there for the 50th. CBS is the home of Super Bowl 50.
And then from this angle, it all makes a star.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore. And frustration, a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy. And giving up, impossible.
And then we're going to turn the lights and everybody look up.
I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought.
What's your reaction? Yeah, exactly.
And unconventional methods
Okay, what else?
common.
This is their world.
Nothing. And then they die. Go ahead, go, go, go.
I'm a teacher. I make more.
When the green
flag drops, anyone in the pro buggy class can win. Proof of this, 5 different winners in the first 6 races. But while everyone has been fighting tooth and nail for wins, Garrett George has been fast and consistent to build a comfortable 21-point lead. The series now heads to the tight confines of Miller Motorsports Park. Passing will be at a premium, and starting position will be key. Catch round 7 this Sunday on CBS Sports Network.
All right, we are now last of the 3rd inning. How about the way the top of the 3rd ended here, Nelly?
A big strike 3, and Jason Love comes off. He finally gets a 0, gets his guys back in the dugout, pats his chest.
Give me something, man.
You know, that away gets a 1-2-3 inning.
Now, is that a taunt to the other team? Is he communicating with the umpire? What's going on there?
Shoots you down a little bit. I think it's not about the hitter. It was all about the umpire. I think he thought there was a pitch in there that was a strike. Kind of looked at the umpire a little bit and asked if it was down, and wanted to make sure that the umpire knew, hey, I'm not showing you up. I was just asking a question, so it's my bad.
Okay. A little accountability. I like that.
You're going to taunt, you might as well point at the guy while he's walking off.
There you go. There you go. Well, here is Tina Harrow leading things off in the bottom of the 3rd for the West. West very much feeling like they're back in it. Got 3 runs in the 2nd inning. Chase and Love went out and put up a 1-2-3. And so now they'll see if they can continue their momentum. Little tapper, though, right back to the mound. And Tina Harrow, an easy out to start the 3rd inning.
Well, your big guy so far, Tina Harrow, in the 3 spot. Strike out the first time up, and a little ground ball back to the pitcher. He's your big guy, your big threat here as far as power-wise. A little frustration, thinking that he's swinging at some bad pitches, maybe getting too aggressive at the plate.
He's got some sweet hair, though.
He does.
Here's Halpin.
We haven't even seen he's got the mohawk going, but the mohawk is bleached.
Yeah.
Well, that was your look back in the day.
Right. He's got some big league lettuce up there. I like it. Petey Halpin. And a comeback. Ooh, that one just beyond the reach of Wachter into center field for a hit. So Halpin is aboard.
And we got a whole new outfield, Dave. We have Cochero moves from right field over to left. Aycock is your new center fielder, and DeLucia is your new right fielder. Infield stays the same. Big lead over there by Halpin.
They weren't checking on him either. Called strike to Mounier. Takes that big lead again. You got to figure he'll be going, and there he is. He's off and running. Pitch a ball to throw down to second, nowhere near in time. And stolen base by Halpin, has him in scoring position.
Yeah, absolutely. A big jump too by Halpin. You know, he had a huge lead over there by first base. You know, at first base, and a big. You see the lead almost all the way out into that cut. Not even close, and a good pitch to run on an off-speed pitch. Even though Wachter slide stepped right there, he had off-speed on the outside part of the plate. Tough for the catcher Stanfield to throw him out.
One and two to Mounier. And he'll bounce this one foul.
And Walker's done a good job. You know, nothing in the air so far by the West. Everything's been beat in the ground, and nothing but ground balls. Look at this.
You see that lead? You were talking about the lead. There's something else I liked about that. Obviously, he was bold how far out he was, but he didn't step back of the bag. There's a little bit of an optical illusion, as I understand it, for pitchers, as this one gets away from Stanfield and Halpin easily into third. When you step in toward the pitcher,
well, it makes it look like you don't have a big lead.
Exactly. And it looked like he has a pretty good idea of how to position himself on the base paths to get that little advantage. Might be a half step, but it's something.
Well, absolutely. You know, a lot of times, you know, you'll get pitchers that won't even look. You know, I think Love and Mounier thought that was ball 4, begging a little bit. It's 3-2. You better be swinging. You see Wachter pitching from the full windup.
There he finally does get it.
Well, you're absolutely right. You know, some pitchers won't even look over to first. I hated throwing over to first base. The only way I would throw over is the catchers will give you a sign. And a lot of times that's the way it is. Unless you're a left-handed pitcher where you can see the runner a little bit better, obviously a lot better. some of the pitchers won't throw over until they get a sign from the catcher, and the catchers are going to get a good view. So even though he, you know, looks like he's staying in front of the bag to make it look like he doesn't have a big lead, the catcher's the ones watching. And they'll look and say, okay, you know, they'll give the little thumb, you know, throw over, a little pinky or whatever it is, whatever kind of different. There's another balk he faked again.
Yeah. Somebody might want to explain to him why that is a balk.
Well, I probably should, since it was my move. Yeah. And I don't get recognized for it anymore.
What do you mean?
You know, I never understood. Well, because it is a balk. I mean, nobody even says my name anymore on the TV. But you see this. This is, you know, a lot of times now, because it is a balk, you're going to get the guy running, and you know, you may not if it wasn't a balk. They called it a balk and made it a rule in the major leagues and all around baseball because managers thought, oh, it's one of those time-saving deals. You know, oh, you know what? That's just too much. You know, there's something that we can cut out, and maybe cut out what, 20 seconds of a game. And you know, it very rarely works. I probably did it 100 times, and it only worked once. And most of the time, you know, you hope to catch somebody stupid off base, but either, all right, I don't have a good grip on the pitch that I'm going to throw, or you know what, I'm going to try to see if I can steal an out. A lot of times you'll do it 3-2. When it's 3-2, 2 outs, you know that runner at first base is definitely going to run, and you're going to see if it works. Most of the time it doesn't. I've gotten, I think, 1 or 2 guys out of all those times on that play, but I don't see where it's a time-consuming play. I don't see what's wrong with it, but now, you know, you can't do it, and we've just seen 2 balks here by Wachter.
Man at second, and that one gets away from Wachter. Now, why you said you hated throwing over to first base? I understand that. It would make me nervous as a pitcher that I might throw it away, something like that. But what was?
Well, you know, the way I set up, you know, the way I came to a stretch, I was closed, so I couldn't see the runner at first. You know, and I wouldn't throw over. You know, you do it 1,000 times, a million times in spring training. You're always constantly doing pitcher's fielding practice, and you're throwing over, and it's nothing. You know, but once guys are out on the mound, and it wasn't me. I didn't want to throw the ball away, but you know, I would slide step. I would vary my move to home plate just to keep those guys closer at first base, give my catcher in time. Good pitch right there by Wachter.
Strikeout of Davion King, and now with 2 away.
But most guys don't. I mean, you know, you want to concentrate on the hitter so much. It's like, okay, you're going to see this guy a lot better than I am, the guy leading off first. And you tell the catcher, if you feel that I need to throw over, you know what? Let me know. I'll throw over.
Good swing here.
So now chasing Love. He was hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning. They're going to continue to focus on Meunier.
Again, you know, you get 2 outs. You know, sometimes you say, hey, you know what, you're paying attention too much to the runner, because you look at the second baseman, Browning's out of position. So now you get any kind of ground ball that's in that second base hole. You know, he's got to go from playing right behind the bag to see if you keep Meunier close, because you do have 2 outs, to bust his butt over into a position where he's going to field the ball. With 2 outs, you got a big lead. You know, no sense of messing with the runner at second.
Bouncer third. Papa George takes care of it. Nice dig over there at first base, by the way, by Myers. Inning over, but another run in for the West. They chipping away at that East lead as we go to the 4th.
Very start, I wanted FitCore to be different. If you come to me, it's because you want to do what I do.
Welcome back in. 8-4 our score. The National Youth Baseball Championship returns to CBS Sports Network with pool play action as some of the best little leaguers in the nation lay it all out on the line. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Now today, in fact, this game right here is our final championship of the All-Star Challenge. So in earnest tomorrow, we get after it in the NYBC, the annual tournament where we find that best 12U team in the country. Chip Kuchera leading things off here for the East. And a little tapper right back to the mound. And Jason Love can field the position as well as he retires the first man of the 4th inning. So Love has done a good job, a perfect 3rd, and now retires the first man he faces in the 4th. Top of the order for Deontay Starks. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know, some guys can be kind of sneaky, but I think number 2 has found his way, just snuck up here into the booth. I don't know how he got past security, but the great Tommy Lasorda. Tommy, how are you doing?
Good to see you. Thank you very much. He's an old Dodger.
I know. I came out of high school and went straight to Great Falls, Montana in rookie league, and went to Vero Beach when he was the manager of the Dodgers.
He was mean on that mound, this guy.
Yeah, he was.
Yes,
did you teach him that?
Huh?
Oh, yes, to the Dodgers, absolutely.
We teach them all like that.
Well,
you learn from the best.
Look at these kids throw that ball. That kid threw as hard as I did.
2 quick outs now is, yeah, this young man, Jason Love, he's pitching well. These kids are ridiculous now. I don't know how to explain it, Tommy, but the baseball at the younger ages has just advanced so much in recent years.
I saw a bunch of kids play the other day. They were about 6, 7 years old, making double plays. I mean, throwing guys out at home. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's what impresses me the most, Tommy. You know, it's is the fundamentals. I mean, these kids, I try to remember back when I grew up, obviously didn't play near as amount of games or didn't even have the opportunity to play the amount of games as they do. But, you know, I don't remember our teams being like this and being fundamentally sound, knowing what to do with the ball. Every single kid knows exactly what to do with the ball.
I was just showing a bunch of outfielders how you got to cut the distance between you and the ball. You got to cut that distance, and that means you got to charge the ball. Okay, I says, when you're on the infield, don't look at the pitcher, throw the ball. Where's the ball going to come to you from? From the hitter. You get your eye on the hitter, not on the pitcher, because when a pitcher, your head's moving. You'll get a split-second jump better if you don't look at the pitcher.
Tommy, tell us a little bit about what you're doing here and how you're supporting Baseball Heaven and also Britta.
Well, the owner of the place is a very dear friend of mine, and he has been sensational in developing kids, playing all over. They come from all over the country here. It's great. They have nice uniforms. Man, when I was growing up, I never had a uniform. We never had 2 bats. We had one that was broken. We put nails in it.
Exactly.
We taped it up with black tape, and that was it.
We played in our blue jeans. I remember the blue jeans were like, you know, the pants, the uniform pants for us. that was as cool as we could get.
Now they have they got glasses on top of their heads. It's a style game.
I signed my first contract when I was 16 years old. Never been more than 30 miles away from home. Scared to death when I went down spring training. In those days, during the war, nobody went to Florida. So I signed with the Phillies. Spring training was in Wilmington, Delaware. Now, you know how cold that could be.
Right.
Yeah.
How many years is this for you in baseball?
Well, in baseball, this is my 66th year with the Dodgers, and before that I was 3, so it's about 69.
Now you
years.
were a scout as well, right?
I started out as a minor league coach, a minor league pitching coach. Then I graduated to a minor league manager, and then I became a major league coach. And then I became a major league manager. Then I became the general manager. So that all happened in one little lifetime.
And we're bringing you down. This is like the cellar. You get to talk to us.
No, I tell you one thing. I admire you guys that can do this and watch these kids play. I mean, I think it's great. Boy, look at the guy out there pitching.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
well, we've been here since 5 in the morning calling the game.
He throws harder than I did.
Yeah, but I don't know if he could manage quite as well, Tommy. Yeah, you think about that. 16 years old, you signed your first contract. You're
$100
scared.
a month.
You're scared to death. And could you have ever imagined that 69 years later?
No, I could never imagine. When I went to spring training in Vero Beach, we had 26 farm teams.
Yeah.
There were 700 ball players in spring training. And I'd say, wait a minute, man, where am I going? I ain't going anywhere here.
No, you're not going anywhere, Tommy. We're taking a break, and then we're going to talk more about it in a moment. To 4, East leading the West as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. And hey, look, the West has done a great job of climbing back in this. You see Dusty Baker off in the distance there at first base, doing some of the coaching today. It has been a star-studded day.
Dusty played for me.
There you go. That's one of your guys,
exactly.
right?
Yeah. Listen to this. The last game of the season, Dusty's on deck. James Rodney Richards is pitching.
Oh, yeah.
And I said to him, Dusty, you hit a home run, we go into the record books. We're the only team in the history of baseball to have 4 guys who hit 30 home runs or more. He said, hey, Tommy, you see who's pitching out there? I said, you can do it. And by golly, he hit the home run. We went into the record books.
Yeah, J.R. Richard, not an easy one to hit back in those days.
His changeup was 70.
His fastball was
85, 90. Oh, he could throw.
Big,
and he
big
was
man.
Big. So the hand was a lot closer when the ball was coming out.
Yeah, yes, indeed. Tommy Lasorda, Hall of Fame manager. We were talking about Nelly being an intimidating pitcher, right? A mean pitcher.
That's what he learned in the Dodger organization.
Well, he said he learned that at Vero. Now, and I always think back to one of the great moments for me, you know, watching the game and enjoying the game. It was in the late 80s, and Oral Hershiser and the run you guys had in 88, and you called him Bulldog. And I remember when I was living in small town Nebraska, when I heard you telling the story about him being a Bulldog, I thought, what, Oral Hershiser? He looks like the nicest guy around. But he really was, right? I mean, he had that same intensity.
Oh, yeah, he was. You know what I told him? I says, you know something? I said, I brought you up here to pitch in the big leagues, and you know what? You are the biggest defensive negative pitcher I have ever seen as long as I was a manager. I said, you know what you're saying? I better not throw the ball there. He's going to hit it. Instead of saying, I'm going to throw the ball there, and he ain't going to hit it. And I said, furthermore, I don't like your first name, Oral. I said, we're playing the Braves tonight. Murphy's the hitter. I bring you in. Now pitching 55, Oral Hershiser. Murphy can't wait till you get to the mound with a name like that. So from now on, your name is Bulldog. You're going to act like a bulldog. You're going to pitch like a bulldog. And when he got the record, I told him the story. I said, did you ever play poker? He said, yeah. I said, did you ever tell your roommate to play your money and that you were going to go somewhere and you'd see him tomorrow? He said, oh, no. I said, why not? He said, that's my money. I said, well, when that guy comes from the bullpen to read you, he's messing with your money.
Exactly.
He pitched 8 straight complete games.
That is unreal.
Yeah. 8 consecutive 9 innings.
Yeah, that was an amazing run and ended up being a fantastically amazing postseason as well. I know it didn't end up exactly as Dodgers fans would have liked it. But let's talk about this facility, though. You know, we talked a little bit about youth baseball.
I'm so impressed with this. Seeing these kids around here with their nice uniforms on. Hey, I played in overhauls. I never had no uniform. We had one bat and we had about 8 nails in it. It was broken.
And how about the fields? I mean, it's some nice fields out here.
Fields. We played where they grew things.
Exactly. The only dirt was because you ran in that same spot a bunch of times.
Jeez, oh my, these kids are so good. I don't like to call them kids. I call them youngsters.
Yeah. Yeah, they are You know, and they may well be kids, 12 and under.
Yeah, they are. But I don't like to call them kids. I call them youngsters.
A lot of them are so far developed in terms of their baseball skills, so much further than many people were ever in their lives. I mean, these kids, their skill sets just unreal.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I got signed when I was 16 years old. Probably a couple of these kids around there are 16 years old right now. I signed for $100 a month.
What'd you do with all that?
$3.33 a day.
Well, you know, then you opened up a bank account, started saving, right?
Yeah, sure. I'll tell you one thing. I thought that was a fortune.
Now, how long are you around for? How long are you around for?
I'm just around a couple days here. My good friend, he owns this whole place. He's done a tremendous job with bringing kids in here to play, and this place is beautiful. Have you seen it?
Oh, man.
This is the second year we've had this. We had the NYBC here last year. We had 2 weekends, and now we had a 6-day little tournament, this All-Star Challenge, and then we have some teams coming around, some of the top youth teams around coming in on the weekend.
Look at that guy pitching. He's throwing the ball. These kids they look really good.
They do indeed. Tommy, so do you. It's great to see you. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you, guys. Thank you. Take care of yourselves.
A real treat to see you.
Good seeing you. Once a Dodger, always a Dodger. You can never, ever cut that out of his heart. I don't care who he went with.
To the 5th inning we go. Okay, Petey Halpin has just checked in the game as we move this thing along to the top of the 5th inning. The East working with that 4-run lead. We take a look at Halpin, the youngster from the North Bay, California, San Mateo.
Well, Love did a great job on the mound. You know, they retired 5 in a row before allowing that walk. Great 2 innings that he came out and pitched for the West. Now the West needs Halpin to shut him down as well. It's an 8-4 ball game here in the 5th inning. Let's see if he can throw up some zeros and see if the West can come back and tie this game up and possibly take the lead. We do have some changes around. Munier goes out to left field. We have Von Taylor who goes out to right. Picone comes in from right at third base. Corona at shortstop. Pound at first base. There you see our new pitcher, Halpin, Petey Halpin.
So Halpin set to go.
Wow.
Strickland.
Nice fastball right there by Halpin. Where's he been?
Yeah, got a little zip on it. 74 miles per hour there.
They're hiding him.
I see. Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
Now Tommy making his way. That was fun.
Yeah,
always
he can talk too.
Always a hoot. But
how about that? 60-some, 69 years. 69 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than that, hadn't done much.
No.
Strickland falls behind in the count now. 2-1.
Yeah, it's funny. You know, heck, I was only with the Dodger organization 3 years, and then I got Rule 5 by Seattle. But they remember that stuff. I mean, he remembers everyone. I mean, it's amazing.
It is interesting. I mean, he was so through and through a Dodger and a baseball man.
Still is. Always will be.
Well, pop up out to right. Von Taylor there. And there's one away. But, you know, he touched on something. The first thing he said about you, the very first thing he said about you was that you were mean. You were a mean pitcher. You were nasty out there. And it's true. And we've talked about that. You like that part of the game. You know, establishing or intimidating a little bit. But both of you suggested that that's something that is taught in the Dodgers organization, or at the time was taught. in the Dodgers organization. You told me about.
It's taught everywhere. You know, back then it's taught everywhere, because he just mentioned, look at Oral Hershiser.
Yeah.
You know, it's a funny story that he didn't like his first name and he had to change it. He says nobody's going to want to, you know, take you serious with a name like that. But, you know, it is. If you're going to survive in the big leagues or anywhere, even in the minor leagues, you have to have some kind of mound presence or some, you know, anywhere. You could be an infielder at the plate. You have to be mean at the plate. I mean, you have to be mean at the mound. You know, now when guys throw inside, you know, there's a lot of uproar with the hitters and a lot of uproar with the managers. Oh, you're trying to hit a guy. But, you know, that's how we stayed in the game. That's how we were successful, is you had to learn to intimidate the other players. Hitters are trying to do it to you. You know, you have to, you know, he just talked about money, and you look at this pitch by Halpin. Nice fastball in the inside part of the plate for a strikeout for the second out. But you know, that hitter is trying to take food off your table, and that's how you thought. That's how you went and you thought about it. And that's pretty much his message to Oral Hershiser, saying, listen, if you're going to have success in the big leagues, you know, you got to be mean. You got to show guys that you're not intimidated out there. It starts when you're young, but it also is taught more once you get into a minor league system. And look at the history the Dodgers had.
Oh, it was, especially that time, it was just so rich.
Well, you know, being with there's only two organizations, obviously, that has the history. You know, St. Louis does too, because they have they bring a lot of big name Hall of Famers to spring training. But the Yankees and the Dodgers are another team. So you have those three teams that really go not out of their way, but really think that inviting back the old timers and having that presence help the player today, the future players, the players that are playing today. I mean, you look, when I went to spring training in Vero Beach, you had Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale, Johnny Padres, Reggie Smith, Dusty Baker. I mean, you had guys that, you know, I was sometimes a little too young to watch them, but big name players that the stars today know about.
Well, DeLucia down on strikes as well. That was a pretty impressive innings work right there. We go to the bottom of the fifth, the 4-run game.
These miles are about the competition, the final push.
Everyone else. And this guy got the deal of a lifetime. This is how car buying was always meant to be. This is true car.
Only Dove Men Plus Care Antiperspirant has 48-hour sweat protection plus 1 quart of moisturizer technology. It keeps.
All right, let's get you up to speed. How did we get here? Well, first inning, first at bat, Brady Browning, 2-run homer. We're just 2 batters into the game. Well, 3 batters later, TJ Wachter, a 3-run bomb. 5 batters up, 5 in on 2 long balls. The West was scuffling, but then C.J. Picone dropped this double down into the right field corner. That got him going a little bit. Then the pitching of Chasen Love. I mean, he was punching guys out, pumped up, and then as he walked off the field, we think looking to the umpire and maybe apologizing for any miscommunication they had, but
or we
pumped
could
up
say that
anyway.
he was.
Maybe he was taunting.
Yeah, who knows? Whatever they want.
But as we go now, bottom of the 5th inning in an 8-4 game.
Well, the West has done a great job over the last 3 innings, shutting the East out, throwing up some zeros. Well, they just need an opportunity to get some base runners. Well, Pelcher on the mound. He had Wachter, who did a great job. Only gave up the 4 runs, but Pelcher threw up the 0 there in the bottom half of the 4th inning. He's got a decent arm himself. We'll go around defensively. We have Strickland in left, DeLucia in center, Browning out there in right. Yeah, Myers at third, Aycock at short, Morgan at second, Starks at first. Still the same battery of Pelcher and Stanfield.
Corona battling up there to stay alive. This might be the time for the West.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you're talking about the time's running out. They got, what, 3 more innings, 9 more outs to try to come back.
That one right over the heart of the plate, and Corona down looking to start the 5th. So now Von Taylor, he will bat for the first time today for Tina Harrow. 1 out, nobody on. Bottom of the 5th inning. We saw Taylor yesterday briefly, a young man from Kuwait here on the West All-Star team. And a guy who, I don't know, maybe he's been to Kuwait. Bobby Valentine has, you know, Tommy must have left a little trail as he left. Because I mean, now
we got all another more great
right?
managers.
Breadcrumbs. We just follow. We follow in his footsteps.
It's like anybody can get into this press box. I mean, how does it happen? Bobby Valentine joining us now as well. Von Taylor chasing that one up there. So, all right, Bobby, what are you doing? What's going on?
You guys do a great job here. Thanks for being out of baseball
thank
heaven. You know, this is part of a little venture that I was asked to get into a while ago. So it's great to be at baseball heaven. Great to see a great tournament and have CBS Sports out here. It's an honor for us, that's for sure. And to be with Tommy Lasorda and Dusty Baker is an honor for me.
Now, you still live in the New York area, right?
Exactly,
yeah,
Jeff. Yeah, I'm a Stanford guy, Stanford, Connecticut. So I'm the athletic director up at Sacred Heart University
Really
as we
nice.
speak in
right?
Fairfield, Connecticcut. Yeah, so you know,
How's
this is
that?
right
That's
across the pond.
Keep you busier than it did when you managed.
Well, with 32 teams, it's a
Yeah,
little more than
absolutely.
one. Yeah, we have a Division I program with 32 sports teams and 18 females, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you miss the game, miss the baseball a little bit?
Sure, don't you?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
I love that major league scene, and especially now it's all heating up, and it's fun to be close enough to two really good teams this year and watch the New York teams do what they're doing.
Well, just like this, more good pitching, but this one wrapped up the middle into center field. So base runner for the West. They still have a pulse.
Those left-handers always do it.
Oh,
don't they, Nelly?
exactly. Yeah, you know, hit the ball off the turf, and you know they make your 1, 2, 3 inning go miserable. But how about you know, you just mentioned the 2 New York teams, and it's got to be exciting again. I mean, the last time was maybe 2000 when we were both in the World Series against each other, and now you got it again.
Yeah, that's right. The Yankees beat the Mets, and he was with the Yankees.
I wasn't going to say anything. I just said, hey, this is great. This is great. They're back again. 2 teams.
But you do remember
how
exactly how exciting it was.
Oh my gosh!
Oh God. And it's happening again. You know, everywhere you go, people are either talking about the Yankees or talking about the Mets,
right.
and I think they're both going to be in the playoffs.
Right, I think it's a great
story. And it's just going to be better and better.
2 things for you, Bobby. Number one, he talks about that World Series all the time as the best one. That, you know, his greatest memory.
Well, because of how the city, nobody around the United States cared, but it's just how the city
and
got
for
together.
You. The West may have just jumped back in this bad boy. That's a 2-run shot by Mounier, and it's now an 8-6 ball game.
What a great swing by the good young man. Those left-handers have pretty swings, but that goes over the center field fence by plenty.
I mean, you look at when you just talked to Tommy about it, and you look how impressed are you with the age group and where the quality of play that you see from this age, even all the way down to the 9-year-olds. I mean, these are some talented kids.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Everywhere you go, they're getting better and better. And luckily, the information is getting better. So the internet has helped that. All the coaches who have given up their time and their energy has helped that. And I think the players are getting better.
Well, you've seen youth baseball become more important and more televised, and you look at the college level. I mean, you got to experience that as far as that being more exposed as far as baseball wise.
Oh yeah, you know, you're getting kids that get into college at 18 years old who could easily be playing you know, professional ball, but they do 4 years of college and then go right up into the big leagues.
Well, Bobby, look at this home run. They're going to show it again. How it gets a pitch out over the middle of the plate and smokes it here. I mean, it's a great facility. You just get the ball up in the air. And as a pitcher, you're cringing. You're like, okay, please don't go out. Please don't go out.
The wind doesn't always blow here like it is right now, but it's blowing out. It is a pitcher's nightmare.
So, Bobby, the other thing, so there are 2 things. Number one, he talks about all the time is his greatest memory, his greatest, you know, the greatest World Series that he played in and won. But the other thing is he's a bald-faced liar, because
we all are.
This morning he told me, he's like, I can't wait till Bobby gets here. I got to show him my ring.
Here's one off the top of the wall. They're coming back big time.
Yeah, the West showing some fight here. King following the home run with a double.
Well, we do a lot of work with Jim Ducati. He works with us, and I make sure that it's easier to rub in that with him because he doesn't
Jim
like
was
that.
the assistant general manager
Yes.
at the time, and you know, Nelly was part of one of the best bullpens that we ever tried to come up against, and it was only a 5-game series, but you will admit those were great games.
It was,
every
and it was
inning, fun
right.
for everyone.
It was exciting. I always loved when we started interleague play in '97. That was when we started out. We played nothing but the East, and it was always fun going over and playing the Mets.
Oh, it was really fun. It was great.
I mean, I loved it, and then it got to be we
had
played
12
each
games
other
against them.
Exactly.
It was really fun. Great stuff.
Graf strikes out to end any additional threat in the 5th inning, but the West is back in it as we go to the 6th. Hey, friendly reminder tonight, 6:30 Eastern. Don't miss episode 6 of the Commerce World's Strongest Man as 4-time champion. Zydrunas Savickas continues his quest to defend the most prestigious title in the sport. Right here on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.
I told you I couldn't make that.
So what's in it for these kids? How about we talk a lot about Dusty Baker being here? This is what it's like for these kids on the West, just hanging out with the great Dusty Baker.
Hey, put this in your pocket. That's D. Gordon wristband, okay? That's a D. Gordon wristband. You know him? You heard of D. Gordon? He's leading the league right now. He's playing the fastest runners. That's why I gave it to you, because you fast. He's the fastest runner in the National League. He played Miami Marlins, D. Gordon.
That's right, and longtime Dodger, and D. Gordon is the fastest man. Well, at least one of them, Billy Hamilton's got at least a claim to part of that.
Well,
but
Gordon was having an unbelievable year until that slide into first base and dislocated his thumb. He did just come back off the DL. He was going to be the starting second baseman in the All-Star game and had a rough break there. I think it was, what, either that Saturday or Sunday right before the All-Star break?
Like a day before.
Yeah. And now he's back. Marlins having a little bit of disappointing season, though. I mean, they go out and make a few signs and sign some free agents, sign Stanton to that big contract, and now they're starting to sell off. Latos goes to, what, the Dodgers?
Oh, excuse me, roller over to the left side of the infield, and now the East gets a break, gets that lead man on. Jasper Stanfield, I don't think he intended to put that ball in play.
No, a little excuse me swing right there, and you know he's fast enough. He's going to beat that out. He'll take it. Now watch out. I mean, these singles sometimes turn into doubles and triples.
Petey Halpin came in last inning, was dominant. He's going to need to draw upon some more of that good stuff right here. Aycock, the hitter, going, and the pitch a ball to throw down to second base, nowhere near in time. Stanfield has a stolen base.
Well, that's what happens. Speed kills. You get a guy on first base, and it's the running game, all about the running game at this age. Holding guys, have catchers with strong arms.
Now 2-0 on Aycock.
When you see both middle infielders, you have Corona over there, short Chambers at second base. They're neither one are holding on the runner. You'll see Chambers move over a little bit closer, keep actually Stanfield closer to second, so it's not an easy job of stealing third.
Just a bit outside. How about this thing, Nelly? I mean, the East, they got 6 runs in the first inning, 5 runs before anybody had been retired. They added a couple in the second, but since then, they've had just 2 base runners. Strike in there to Aycock, and look at this. Got a run down, and they got him. So Stanfield caught a little too far off the bag.
Yeah, you know what? Stanfield almost got back to the bag. That play went from 2 to 5 to 6. It was the shortstop, Corona. You watch this. He catches Stanfield off. And look at the shortstop. Catches the ball. Luckily, you know, usually the second baseman catches that in a rundown. And, you know, again, these kids haven't played together. And, you know, maybe the fundamentals will be a little bit off. But good play there. Nice throw by the catcher, Kligman. Get a big break. That was a big out right there for the West.
And then they lose Aycock for the walk. So the East gets the base runner right back. But the East, they've been very, very quiet since the beginning of this game. And the West has been methodically chipping away at that lead.
Well, if you're the East, you score early. And the whole idea to try to win a game and put a nail in the coffin of the other team is you want to, you know, at least score 1 or 2 late, because you see the West slowly coming back. You see a 2-run deficit, 8 to 6. And if you're the East, you want to try to do your best to squeak across another run. And, you know, pretty much puts, you know, a nail in the coffin as far as the West coming back, because they've done such a great job of doing that. And they find themselves inch closer and closer. East get another run. It gets a little bit tougher to come back.
Big swing and a miss there by Myers, trying to add to the 8-run total with 1 swing.
But you got to handle to the West. I mean, these last 2 pitchers, Love and Halpin, have really done a great job for the West of shutting down the East hitters.
Boy, that looked pretty good. Just misses maybe a bit low, 2-1. So this is the championship game of the NYBC All-Star Challenge. And tomorrow we will start in earnest the National Youth Baseball Championship. 12U teams. They've spent the year battling in other tournaments to qualify for this one, to, you know, to battle it out for a national title. And it's a fun week once we get going and we see these teams from all over the country. Been playing together all summer. Slightly different.
Yeah, it is going to be different. And, you know, they're going to have maybe a little time constraint as far as not letting the ball go or the game go deeper or anything past a couple hours. So we're going to see some better pitching. We'll probably see a lot better fundamentals, because these kids have been playing together all summer and basically all spring. So you're going to see some good, talented ball players here on this weekend. And, you know, we've seen some of these teams before, some of the coaches before. But it's always exciting. You know, great facility here in baseball heaven in Yaphank, New York. And, you know, I'm looking forward to it. And we'll see some of these kids out here in the All-Star Challenge go right into their, you know, their normal teams.
All right, so Petey Alpin back ready to go to work on Logan Myers. And the full count pitch. It's upstairs, so a couple of walks. And they just, you know, West doesn't have a lot of room for error here. Trailing by 2, and the question will be, oh, I see Dusty coming up the top step. Here he comes.
No, this is going to be a treat. Usually when Dusty goes out to the mound, he's making a change, but it's going to be interesting to see what he has to say.
Good. How's he doing, Ellie?
Fine.
Okay, do me a favor. Pitch to pitch. Breathe. Blow it out. One more time. You refreshed, ain't you?
Yeah.
Okay, don't worry about the base runners, and don't just be natural as possible. Okay, come on.
There you go. There you go, Dusty. Teaching him to breathe. Just relax.
He's right. I mean, that's the whole idea. That's why sometimes pitching coaches come out when you start, you know, feeling yourself sway away with what you're supposed to do and throw strikes. It's all about giving them a break here. And there you go. He dialed it right back in. And that's the thing. You know, you're coming back. You can't worry about the base runners. I mean, they're going to do what they're going to do. You know, they're not going anywhere. They can't score unless you get that guy hit. You know, that guy at the plate gets a hit. So the hitter becomes so much more important when runners are on base, and you'll find pitchers worry too much about those runners, and they wind up making a mistake to the hitter.
That's not Dusty working on the lineup card there, by the way. Signing autographs.
And he's got a good fastball. You know, when he mechanically sound. He stays back over the rubber. He's able to get that ball down in the zone, and it's hard when it starts leaking up and out, up in the zone. He starts leaking out on the rubber, and he doesn't stay back. He's not nice and balanced. 2 good pitches right there. He's back in the count 2-2. This is the action pitch. You don't want to. You have first and second. You want to make this guy put it in play, either with a strikeout, or make him hit a ground ball.
Oh, got away from it. Yeah. So as a pitcher, you feel a little pressure on the 2-2, just to make it a hittable pitch. Is that the idea? Make it a ball that will be put into play.
I mean, if you're not a strikeout guy, you want to put a pitch. You don't want to go 3. I mean, now you have 3-2 first and second.
Right. So now everybody's running.
Usually, I mean, with 1 out, you may not see the guys run, but nice pitch, nice frame job. Almost got the call, but now you walk the bases loaded. But the 2-2 pitch, that's why they call it an action pitch. You want to make that ball get put in play somewhere, and it's important for you to make a nasty pitch or make a pitcher's pitch. Usually it's a down and away fastball, so we can get a nice ground ball and hope to get a double play out of it.
Well, that's going to do it for Petey Halpin, who, by the way, was pretty impressive. We'll tell you about the new pitcher here when we come back.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel
now hometown, the Bronx for Von Taylor. That's where he was born. He lives in Kuwait and is over here for this All-Star Challenge. And no pressure, kid. Bases loaded.
Bases loaded. Your team's coming back. Hey, how about a double play or get a key strikeout right here when you have the top of the lineup who's done pretty good damage here in the first couple innings or first few at-bats that they've had? Yeah, absolutely. Halpin goes back to shortstop, and Corona, who was the shortstop, goes out to right field. But there's a look at Von Taylor. First time that we've seen him pitch.
Well, he'll deal with the top of the order, as you mentioned. Deontay Starks, who, and I don't know, maybe those are those D. Gordon's batting gloves he's wearing at the moment? It may be. Pops this one up, but not likely to be playable. Oh, actually, it was playable. That breeze up there, that wind, might have pushed that back into foul ground here on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. You could hear the West coaches say, hey, that's coming back. The first baseman, Graff, goes over, and you thought the ball was going to be out of play, but that wind blew it back, and you saw the second baseman, Chambers, almost makes the catch with a little slide up against the fence.
Well, one away. And Von Taylor's 1-1. Uh-oh. That ball's hit well. Left field and gone. A grand slam for Deontay Starks.
He crushed that ball, gets a fastball up in the zone, and it was a no-doubter. That went well into the woods. And a little tough break by Von Taylor. Comes in with bases loaded, only 1 out. There's an opportunity that they could have got Starks out with that fly ball down the line, but watch this swing. Fastball belt high, crushes it, and he knew he got it. Just a matter of how far. You see it went halfway up into the woods. That's probably on the railroad tracks over there.
So a bomb by Starks. And now Browning, he'll take it a little tight. Third home run of the game for the East.
And that's what happens, opportunities. Chambers hits that ball down the right field line, maybe a chance for one of the infielders, whether it's the first baseman or the second baseman, to catch that ball for the West, and it drops in. The next thing you know, a big mistake, you got a grand slam. And this is what the East wants. You score early and you have to score late. I mean, you score 8 runs in the first couple innings and you have to score late to put that stamp on the game, and they may have just done that.
Now 2-0 to Browning. That heart of the order still waiting.
There you go. Nice fastball right there from Taylor.
So now can he use that? Battle back here with Browning. Little right-hander. Went for that same corner but missed, and Browning is on. Fourth walk of the inning for the East. Now Mike Valiendo out there to have a word with Taylor. Yep, take the baseball. So that's it for Taylor.
He's given everybody an opportunity to get out there on the mound. We'll see number 1 come in next.
Okay. All right, another pitcher coming on for the West, and we'll tell you about him in just a moment.
This new mom is struggling to get the skates just right. And now she's holding on for dear life. Her kids can see she may have broke her knees.
.5'1" right-hander. He is on to face the heart of the order. The 2, 3, perhaps 4 hitters in this East lineup. An East lineup that has put up 12 runs today, largely on the strength of 3 homers. A grand slam by Starks, a 3-run shot by Wachter, and Brady Browning with a 2-run bomb back in the first inning. 9 of the 12 runs on homers. Asa Runge up there with a man on first base. 1 for 3 in today's game, but we have seen Runge homer in every game that we've called, except this one so far.
Another cue, right on cue.
Maybe.
He's got a good swing, a lot of good, you know, I was impressed. I want to say it was Love when he threw him inside. You know, Meunier, I think it was as well. Pitched him inside, really tied him up. And that was the only success that we've seen the opposing pitchers have on Runge. Tie him up a little bit. Anything away, he gets his hands extended, and he can pull it, and he's got great power the other way.
Another ball that gets away back there by home plate, and Browning now at second base on the wild pitch. The cone will step off and reset himself. It's a breezy day, and the breeze helps hitters. That one hung on the outside corner, but Runge laid off it. That was a little surprising. That looked like the exact kind of pitch that we have seen him punish. Jason Love looks like he's enjoying himself despite the
the rally cap. Your team's not up yet. You got to wait for the rally caps.
Runge should get something good. 3-1. Just missed it.
Just missed that ball. Man. Exactly. That might have been on top of the roof if he put that.
And he scores that one up, and
yeah.
The payoff, and they walk him. That is the fifth walk of the inning. First issued by Picone.
Well, it doesn't get any easier with Dalton Strickland. I mean, this guy is homered in every game that we've seen as well, except this, along with Runge. Good fastball right there by Picone. Down in the zone. The only thing you're going to do that with that is beat that thing in the ground.
We've certainly seen, though, Dalton Strickland a dangerous hitter as well. And Picone trying to get him to go out over the plate a little bit, but wouldn't take the bait on that one. A 6-run first inning, now 4 here in the 6th inning. Kind of really staying away from Strickland, and the ball goes into the outfield on that pickoff attempt back at second base, but nobody advancing.
Kligman thinks he can catch the runner off of second base sleeping, and Halpin, the shortstop, got a little late jump getting over there and covering. Luckily, nobody advanced.
More trouble now. 3-1 to Strickland. We said it when Runge was up there. The same thing holds for Strickland here. He really should get something good right here.
And he
just missed it.
He expected it too.
Man.
3-1 unleashing.
Well, they're geared up for it. At this point, I mean, with the big lead, you bet, man.
Exactly. He probably feels it too. He says, you know what? I had a home run the first two times on TV, and I haven't done anything. I know he's 1 for 2. He did had a base hit first at bat.
Strikes out swinging, and that's the second out of the inning.
Good pitch down in the zone from Pacone. Get Strickland to swing over top. The only thing, again, you're going to do is beat this ball on the ground. And you look at it, a little breaking ball on the outside part of the plate, but he kept it down. Nice pitch.
Here's a guy who's had the day. He's driven in 5 runs. Again, they'll throw down to second base, but Klickman no chance at catching anybody out there. Walker had the 3-run homer in the first, a 2-run single in the second inning. He struck out looking in the 5th. And hits this one down to third and out into left field. They'll send Browning all the way from second base. He scores. And they might well have Runge here hung up for the final out of the inning. And they do. So they pick up a run, make it a 5-run frame. And the East takes a sizable lead in the bottom of the 6th inning. But we shall see. The West down to their final 3 outs here in the last of the 6th inning. Dave Raymond, Jeff Nelson with you today. And we have had great company today as well.
Oh, absolutely. How about that cast? You had Dusty Baker. You had Tommy Lasorda, Bobby Valentine.
This one fouled back by Chambers.
Dave, this might surprise you a little bit. We have some changes.
That's weird.
And left field, DeLucia goes out there. Browning in center field. Morgan in right. We have Papa George back at third base. Strickland back at short. Aycock, the new second baseman. Starks continues to play first base in the same battery.
Good battle here by Chambers, fighting off a number of tough pitches. Keep this at bat going. Right now they can't afford outs.
Cochera's behind the plate. It's his first opportunity that we've seen him behind the plate. Chambers is swinging. He needs a ladder up there to swing at those pitches. He's here to comment in the dugout. I said, how high they need to get. You might as well keep going up if you're the pitcher. Say, heck, get your catcher to stand up. See if he's swinging way above your head.
2-strike pitch and another fastball spoiled by Chambers.
Another good fastball. You're absolutely right.
Right now, you're not going to get much past him.
Exactly. Just keep firing fastballs. 0-2. Let's see if he drops one down on him. Gives him a breaking pitch.
So Tommy Lasorda sitting about 5 people down to our right, and he just yelled, "Hey, number 2!" And the kid turned around and looked at him, and he gave him some instructions. And he's managing from right down about 10 feet from us. It's awesome. But Chambers strikes out, and that is the first out of the inning. Cochera completing it with that throw from behind the plate. Here you go. Tommy was yelling at Chambers as he was running off the field, but he was yelling catcher. Catcher was looking. Chambers just kept running. Oh man, it's awesome. Klickman right-handed hitter, and that one does nibble off the corner. Now the trick right now, work the count, find your way on, keep the line moving. This one popped foul out of play. Well, not to be lost, this man Pelcher has done a great job in relief, battling for the East. He has slowed down this West team that they got going a little bit in the second, third innings.
Yes, absolutely. You know, he came in, he's done a great job. He gave up those 2 runs the last inning, but really settled down. He shut them down, didn't allow them to get any more and come back.
And now Kligman finds his way on. So Tommy, by the way, Tommy has actually summoned Chambers from the dugout and has him again just a little bit to our right, and they're working on his batting stance. And Tommy's, that's incredible.
Oh, absolutely.
It's incredible.
He was just saying something about, you know, how you're fouling the ball on the opposite, the opposite field. He's doing a little bit of adjustment to catch up to the fastball.
Oh, comebacker, and this could be 2. Pelcher with a great play to second, the relay to first, and that does it. So the East gets it done today. The home run ball, the large part of it, but Pelcher with a great pitching, closing it out, and then making the defensive play to finish it all
off. Well, the second double play we've seen it. The 1-4-3, absolutely great play by Pelcher, but the East, they won this game. They won the first game to get into this championship game, and again, it was all offense. TJ Wachter, 6 RBIs, and then the leadoff hitter, Deontay Starks, 3 for 4, grand slam, scored 3 runs. Those 2 guys were the highlight of the offense. An outstanding job by the East to get into this game to play the West. And, you know, it was long, but we saw a lot of run scoring, but a little bit better game as far as defensively.
Yep, I agree. Saw some very interesting pitching as well in this one, but a great finish to our All-Star Challenge with the East beating the West 13-6. And now we can turn our attention to the actual NYBC coming up tomorrow. 13-6, our final score. Congratulations to the East All-Stars, champions 2015. For Jeff Nelson and our entire crew, I'm Dave Raymond. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. We now send you to the Doug Gottlieb Show, already in progress, right after this.